Ebusia Ghana ha aye menya nyama ekoso de bebre na chese nia baby a hit na nkasa ewo no eye Ablekuma na ye nyina ye nim ne ekoso ewo 2020 elections mu a chese 2024 elections a ekopie ase wie ye na ye se Ablekuma honom no chese menti me ho ase bi out of the results a eba ye no the two gigantic political parties are ewo krom ha being the NDC and then the NPP no ekoba ne says sia no akwai say win na eba ye no counting ni nyamane bi koso a chese na amankofo mienu yi omonti omo ho ase kra eno ene eba ase ne be ye da asem no be court nso edi asem no kan say ne be ya yenko for a rerun of the elections na ene ya ena sa rerun no ekoso so wo hwe ye our Pinax TV abomode na like na share my share video we my san say their ekoso no very very current news say no be best no I say brodo kwa ye efi funo no mu kra no eno nti me wo Chris our studio ha say he will help us with a discussion and give us an overview of exactly what is happening at Ablekuma and then Ghana for nyina TV stations where bia kan ho asem Chris akwaba
major so.
All right. Now, wait there. Obi baby say ahwefo baby say den na ekoso pa ewo Ablekuma electoral area che say ama edi tre hasa ewo Abefonten times.
Okay, so 2024 elections na last year and ntiema President John Dramani Mahama winning ebetina akunyazo as the current president no. We had some kind of misunderstandings ewo Ablekuma North pink sheets and only betting agent so declare say a parliamentary candidate Rabna Oben and a carefree. You bet me agent so I say way na winning a winner a losing. I mean some coffee cottage pink sheets ni collation no be ding. Ama declaration post a way na winning and also we are winning. So somewhere in January coming down EC no declare say you be a rerun so that I mean you do the voting again.
Sure.
Now ya share how you let me an MP for Ablekuma North. Now when Friday 11th of July election so now it was supposed to be an election for just one constituency, but okay, as I say, and it looks like we are having a general election in the country. That is what is currently going on. Now, in some year, the brave and of the 19 polling stations, no, from bare 9 hours by I mean, in some degree, mostly a few polling stations are, I mean, the voter population, and kind of say a dose.
Okay.
And no, a honor na chaos no be brave. Of course, now I want to be brave. I mean, a NDC, NPP, deputy national organizer, the one former member of parliament, Hawa Koomson, and also kakaka. Some journalists be from EIB network, some also from Joy. Now, series of happenings, no, you're starting on a panel here out of the 19 polling stations. No, now, I mean, let's have a joke account.
Okay.
But election about 20 maybe there an hour into the election, you're starting who said, and then the some journalists be yet to me assaulty or then we also had
until the old boss mamena fede ya komo bako mebo.
Yes.
All right.
Then yes, also Hawa Koomson was also assaulted. Then there were some other can say chaos now what we had about 3 hours ago was that we had the security leaders or more Chrome had to visit Ablekuma.
So security leaders are now patch IGP.
Yes. Okay. So we had IGP visiting the constituency.
Okay.
We also had the defense minister, also Owanebo to also visit the constituency, and then we also had the interior minister, and also Corona. One thing ACCC is people think say the NDC is trying to pay back exactly what they were offered back in 2019.
Okay.
I mean, Omuhune said what happened at Ayawaso, West Wagon.
Okay.
It's the same thing that they are paying back to Masha. When the NDC came into power, now they've been able to pay back the NPP. Certain things be a people felt like, I mean, this is just a payback thing. Do you understand? To the extent, say, yeah, chill, yeah, your money pan who train. I mean, your mom who say, yeah, chill, say why you say, do from Rapanso. And then the happening and the chaos.
Wait there, Mammy Kai Ghana for your tear for near phone. Home so kakra mame. Na me mom who say, yeah, na life, and unti say, won't share ya, but more than I share my na numbers no enko na afufo mu so mu nim ne ekoso Ghana no. They will get to know exactly what is happening in this country. Yes, and said, "Dear cousin, dear, I am menya na videos. I work hard there. Endorse bebre. Their craze kanenya botrimu can be na all year. Everything he is saying has ABI, friend say evidence be and now say reference be aware today. Na Chris, oh, kasana now see acquire to say NDC for no omo ye BB I said tit for tat. I also here BB to say payback. That is the exact word you use. Now, the big question we need to ask ourselves as a country and as a people, say, so is it good? Say a formal ABR party BR normal BB that it wasn't good now. Fuphobia banswa. Should they also walk in the ways of the old political party?
You see, Seven America say it looks like a tit for tat. No, who updates are NDC or more penning for no, most of them many appointees, people who are currently working under the NDC government in the post here. Most of them are making mockery of what is happening currently.
Okay.
Do you understand? We have Sam George, our postee current I mean past video I told me I also West War one. Or say as of now on TBBM family police Ghana police as what happened to him. And people are calling on him, say, I mean, this is not the time to be posting all these things because I mean, say, yes, you know, we should find ways and means. I ever coming down. One, Defense Minister Becca said, this is not the time to call him because the election is over, but the coalition is where the problem is going to be.
Already now there's problem. Already there's fire on the mountain.
Yes, and said the AC corner. Now let's come to Ablekuma Hona and Kasano. So said the Honu City now. Honu is an NPP stronghold.
Okay.
Since 1992, we had Adam Bakonote Yeboah. Okay. That is the very first time we had an NDC person occupying that seat.
Okay.
From that time, 1996, 2000, 2004, we had Kwame Nabatels who came in from a year 2000, 2004. We also had Justice Joe Appiah, and also back from 2008 to 2012. Then we also have Nana Ekia also a free of the NPP or no by 2016. Then Kwame Nabatels neighbor Sheila Penelope Battels also by 2020. And Ekia free to come in 2024 Obejina for a year NPP. Now I'll share the slide. I mean the first one or the kind of lost that Omu I can say the gap now it was just 416 votes.
When you say just everything I just but when him say election they say 50 plus 1 crown and I just say no.
You see, a man a QFE still now even when the party said they are boycotting the rerun. She still decided to go
ahead.
She knows that this is our stronghold.
Okay.
Do you understand? And we still have the main kind of say
what it takes to win.
What it takes to win this rerun.
Okay.
And see Ushemwa and NPP stronghold. Say they see what
yeah.
I mean the NDC felt like the same thing can also happen in Ablekuma North.
Okay, Chris. Let me ask you this. You know, initially, no, na enkofo kase from the onset of election, na ekoso Ablekuma. That was in the year 2024, last year, no. Na ekoye say beginning, no, na NDC 4 and na omu leadi. Then all of a sudden there was a swift change. Be a kobaya, and then out of that change, no, you who say NPP 4 na say omu so. omo ateki the head omo so omo eko finally neko PSNPP ne wini ye eno na nkofo nso ebisa say is there not a cause for this rerun ma NDC na all of a sudden enti nkofo ka say dream ni katashi say bi koso our and that is exactly what they are trying to rectify with this run. What do you have to say concerning that?
Well, as to say, there were some kind of, rigging be in the 2024 election. We didn't even get to count the votes.
Okay.
Do you understand? All the pink sheets are not related to that election. Coalition. Nipa money for because say ni nyina omo titi ni nyina mu edigu fom ana unhu baby a ebi ewo ene ade enti ehɔ ne de say yentimi an quality ma mean kakra na omutimi quality we na you say about 116 votes na gap ene dem no I mean that's enough told the NPP candidate and they say I mean she should still go ahead and then join the race.
All right. Now, me patrol say we share ya higher Pinax TV na near Koso Ghana has say currently breaking news it is still ongoing and one sem and a year bobo ho na ye ne wo chess and e be ya won so no wanya dia Koso man yimu na nsem ne de eye bebre senia me ne Chris ye di kan ya ye fa no mako na ye titi mu se ne be ya won so no wati ase se ne se na se ne fata na baby aye ko no Ablekuma no still na eja ewo honom still na eja wo ho pa na obi be bisa say Chris say dia cause of violence mood aye activated wa Ablekuma no akoye to say enye ne fi ase o cause one of way I can yes see her no ma meti ase say almost titi pink sheet ni mo right from that time till now. Don't you think say it be underlining causes be wo honoma the people are actually experiencing a year nimana?
You know,
can there be something like
people are trying to make it look as if say what happened because of what happened in Domekwa Benyani the NDC is trying to use force to take most of the seats from the NPP. Do you understand? That is the kind of men can say adwini bi ato nipa ni bi trim. Do you understand? Enti ekwan bi aso a the NPP will try and maintain some of their seats no. So you could realize that even in Domekwa Benya a chair before they were able to declare the results.
Exactly.
And Ablekuma North the so as I mean we've had a rerun as I currently betting I can say no omom da so gina mu a omo eto abaye omo about 5 p.m. no
those who
they were still in the queue.
Line okay
see omo na eto about nti yen hwa kosi ebia by 6:30 there we can assure our listeners say ebia we'll have the coalition ebia omo be start a coalition so at least we can also get to know who will occupy a Ablekuma North seat.
Okay. Any nyina yenso ye de ni be hwe na ye hu se ne ebe kono na ye was screenshots be with from the police from the Ghana police ma ye tiase say omo officer baako ya indict no because wa ye bibia ense se oye na sa ade na ekoso no eno na Ghana for be enso Pinax TV Ghana for bebre enso bisa say is this the Kwame Nkrumah Ghana Kwame Nkrumah edo to ho ye na democracy kakra bi any rerun election kakra bi ye no ye hu ye ho so na say or china say na my indictments na abemu no and then Ghana for bisa say then na ekoso with regards to our democracy. Are we really ready for the IFN democracy no anase the ayaya no I say nia ye di agrobi no and nkofo ye na yensu ye bi na Ghana police the screenshots bi aba na omo officer baako na yes unfortunately no he was assaulting a journalist na eno so de entwa kwa mu kra na Ghana for bi say na journalist for bi so na ebi mu so hadwin journalist for no ebi mu ho no ma omo tag na omukita camera na just omukita microphone pe almost say we are singing na omodia nunti just say person who direct ni amakra na they don't want to listen to you probably nunti na police ni koye de oye no but ebi mo so can say that is not an excuse. That is what some Ghanaians are saying, that it is not an excuse. At the right time, me producer at the screenshot, to honum. Now I have it here, and so I will read the details and then share with you. Send a midi kind ha a Pinax TV. Bomoding na share video we Emma yes and a bear. Wadan fubi or non so what baby a own nim the Okoso Wagana no. That person will also have the privilege to have a hands-on information of exactly what is happening here in Ghana, specifically Ablekuma electoral area. Now, the screenshot reads press release. This is from the Ghana police, as I have earlier mentioned. Title police interdict officer seen in viral video assaulting a reporter. Now, as I say, also the name Ghana had the obia kita the phone because of social media. And be a cost on one now so pe. Now you try near the better about 10 times so and you are at fault and go for a better worry and go for a so pow. No na air cost so our mind way moon. Now police no journalists no or ya no the obayano and no yeah this information no with a screenshot with a video and everything. We'll put it right here for you to watch it. We want you to follow us. We want you to like. We want you to share. Send information at your channel. You will get to know exactly what it is for yourself. Now, twas no. My main kind back me will be menya. Okuku dem ni bi wo studio has say or no so. People have been hearing your voice. I'm sure they will be excited to hear your voice again. Yeah. Right. Welcome to.
Yeah. So first of all, no mecha it's here for.
Okay.
I'm sitting in for my brother Chris because unfortunately we'll be cop.
Okay.
So what the sequence of things which has been happening since morning, is something which has really shocked everyone and also the international community.
Exactly.
Because since morning we all knew say EC Chair Jen Mensah, after various months of a year back and forth, even leading up to this particular time, what we did realize was that before this particular elections, we saw that Ablekuma both MPs, QFE and Irabna, they all declared themselves the winner.
Yes.
Until ultimately, or more kind pink sheet now, they couldn't really come to a cross road because we now for the and for the past 6 months, Ablekuma North have gone without any sitting MP. So just a week ago or so, and EC boss Jamesa or didn't Betu just say they'll be doing rerun at about 9 polling centers. They believe that the pink sheet and so missing. That is the information. Now immediately the election started. Even leading up to the election, we saw say that Malik Basantele he says or the 5,000, 50,000 men at Ablekuma, a whole lot of things. But then this particular morning, it was all nice. We saw MPP bigwigs, the likes of their chairman, their party faithful, even Kenya Japan was there. But one person it is maybe could be an issue, Hawa Koomson. And the video of Hawa Koomson is just what you are watching on the screen, sir. It is so sad that it is go full rim kana police for a while, catch them some and the people were saying said no, they wouldn't wait. So the video you are watching on the screen is currently depicted what really happened at this particular police station and they went further ahead, as you can see. They trying to force themselves inside into share commentary. The person was like, "Oh, a DNA course near that." I think so there's an extended video of this particular one. Hawa Koomson, regardless of her sins in the past, she is a woman and she ought not to be in this particular thing. So we'll be extending this particular video as Kasa.
Right, senior wedi kanya kan we de wa ma tiefo ehu ne ekoso senior okan Hawa Koomson obi a personality bi a chese baby obekọ bia no ebekọ kwasra Ablekuma electoral area no okoho bia asem esi okoho bia enkomo epiemu na out of one of the places that okoye no and unfortunately it is alleged say no kita pepper spray and all sprays a pepper spray no on some of the gentlemen more no more so mudi bufuo ne de ne nya agro bisiri omu bisiri ne de omu pia ne to form. The video is playing, you can watch it, but I would want you to share but modern na mo bin so ensan kan hu dia ekos e wo man Ghana ha say share. This is Pinax TV. So send ya nyina ye share e wo the other slide no and no one ekos until be hu Hawa Koomson no shirt white shirt and she's in a black gown there and she be what is going on now. And easy, and she's a woman now also a mother also a MP ewo kaswa and I said the refereno ewutu senior east no so even if why baby poor should we go to this extent, should we lower our levels to this extent imrantie omabeti akese no ono mode bo mami omodi pra mami ebi wo ko mu pushing into form kra no na nkofo de omonan wo ne yem which is not fair, which is not good. That beni yedu has as a country identity is say way AC because and when we are talking about this, one funny thing is that a lot of people including those in the NDC caucus are making references to Ayawaso West Wogon, what happened in 2019, and saying that they have seen what is happening. Now, Omokwa de inform who is and say what happened in 2019. No, this is more or less like a repetition of it. Should it be the case? Should that be the case? And until His Excellency, the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Edin Sembia Betuja, and all calling on the current government say as much as possible they should call to order all the tax any more indiscipline acts Ablekuma because in say nipan onye hwe na waye bibi mpo as say di obuo ema ye elderly persons aye nimwo your man na Chris Chris in Hano.
Yeah, so you see exactly what is really going on. As you can see, this particular video, it is really sad. I dare to say, yeah. So these are the main what I say for you. Remember, I say, before they entered this particular premises, there were lots of police people at the gates. So how were they able to break barrier with the police people, enter and also attack people? It has say now, say. Okay, this was immediately after a year Hawa Koomson was pushed down and also assaulted by this particular man. So as you can see, we don't know exactly. We are learning that these people apparently normally NDC tax. Now we don't know. According to NDC for most or more patches say all of these things that did happen, basically, it was because Hawa Koomson, a bodyguard, a pepper spray, a particular polling station agent, and also a journalist. So. Sana, as always, no obia blame me other side. Exactly. I just said this is a very sad but then even if Hawa Koomson cry IBB say the law doesn't permit this kind of riots, this kind of assault, this kind of lawlessness. At the end of the day, we are just building a momentum for 2028. Remember I say all of these things are personal. MPP is not really weak. In fact, a ban in terms of numbers. MPP has more numbers than the National Democratic Congress. What really happened in the last election is that.
But are you very sure about that?
Oh yeah, and these MPP have a lot of numbers. I just share the books and registration. But what really happened in the last election was that Ghanaians were fed up. Ghanaians were disappointed. In the MPP before there was also a section of independent voters, and as a woman, basically in the middle. Okay, we don't like what MPP is doing, so you fire by Emma the National Democratic Congress. So that was one of the reasons why John Dramani Mahama won overwhelmingly. But at the end of the day, what they are doing. Because
it's true. I'm sure some Ghanaians will not agree with you totally on the fact when you say that when you look at the books and when you look at the numbers, NPP seems to have more numbers than the NDC. I don't know.
The registration since 1992 Ghana Jerry John Rawlings Oba there so that time no need to say the party and a hot kick then was NDC. They had the numbers there. But then over the past 20 years, the New Patriotic Party have been able to position themselves as an account party. Party I said, I will not sit here and lie. Most of us gravitate towards the New Patriotic Party. And it also in terms of accounts they dominate. They have the numbers. They are more than what I said. So and only the established facts. Established facts. Also the registration and the idea course. Now all of these things basically a idea you can verify for yourself. But then in between these particular two political parties, the NPP and NDC, there's a thin section of people Obeka said these are the swinging voters, and as the voters are exactly voters. Thank you. So the floating voters, they decide, say, okay, this time around we'll go here, this time around we come here. So they are the people, because also the account people and also the real NPP people, they never defect. They don't just vote for NDC. Either they vote or they don't vote at all. What I said. But one more inside, like the floating voters, they basically decide. So by the numbers needed, I still believe, say, per what I've read and the research on my end, NPP has more numbers. But then what we are seeing is that many NPP people felt disappointed. Into man conquer voting. Right. We share the 2020 elections, the 2024 elections. Now, Mama, Baumia say NPP for numbers or more. If all of them had paid to vote, they will have won, even with Mohammed's numbers. That means that there was a voter apathy. Exactly. Exactly. It affected a lot of them. Exactly. Oh, okay. So what I say. So many people did not actually go out to vote. So all of these basic things, kind of accounted for where we are today. Where we are today at the end of the day, NDC for power. And then NDC for one of the things you have to know is that power is transient, power changes. And then to me, I say, MPP. What I say. So the way what they are doing, this is the same thing that we were talking about. The 2020 elections is here. And funny enough, anytime at BBC, ABCBN, Hawa Koomson has the name. Hawa Koomson's name is now basically synonymous to with election, violence. What I say. So lose election. Come. Ose sagandelia character na oyusu okaswa no. Okwa yes sir. Okay. What I say now so usu ndi hene. Enye kaswa na okoya obitima free men and 30,000 men for the basa. They be where you be my so new rule. So you don't know the terrain any nyama exactly. What I say it will mean come bon same nya de masa kaswa and come to nya de. You can't do that in here because someone be man here they different. Okay. NS but where the straight here for na ya for say more that so any like you are still with us but more than let me know your opinions concerning this particular matter. Ablekuma. And then you see Hawa Koomson. Meaning say what is that information now? There's been your friend is a notice be about she's been hospitalized and she's receiving treatment. Now you see in a life it is at a very critical stage. Where the more fancha me say sounds way mobile Hawa Koomson, your friend is saying issue abay. This is not the first time. Okay. You see, and the reason why NDC for be brave say you find no some tasty. The Bible says he who kills by the sword dies by the sword. That's the Bible now so say my revenge and vengeance belongs to the Lord. Oh yes. Yes, sure. Because Otike no be bo asuma. Me so be than other chick na man. E be war e was sake. Bible na can say vengeance belongs to the Lord. You see and the vengeance in the same. So what we are seeing now is that our Koomson na all you see a election drama. Okay. And na all year. Okay. You bo ni we so sorry na nam ho. Their videos are not near NDC for be cry e bon komo motunyo. The rules are not between you saying Hawa Koomson your daho. So the next thing is they will release pictures and you drip near we try see a coin surgery. She will not die. What I say. But then what you should do is that you stay out of people's business. Okay. Command ewa kaswa. No, that is not the same command you go have command elsewhere. At Ablekuma. No. Okay. What I say. Bible no ankasa kache say give what is unto Caesar to Caesar. So she should have just see Baumia ko
Okay.
I didn't tell Yambu Baumia.
Okay.
King Japan, I didn't tell Yambu King Japan.
Okay.
Party chairman, I didn't tell
Brian
Yambu
Champon,
Hawa Koomson Kwanko already see. King Japan could be a buyer.
Oh, Pacha say, ye meaning not to one.
It's a meaning at all. Again, no, yeah. See, yeah, can't. I'm not saying said yeah, no.
Okay.
Dear Papa.
Okay.
But then the question we should be asking ourselves is what led to this particular turn of events?
Okay.
What led to
allegedly no, you say no kita pepper spray.
If you pepper spray a reporter, a polling agent, they'll also retaliate in kind. Okay. Pepper spray now you see, some people are allergic to these kind of things.
Okay.
This is the same woman now. Election year train, okay? Obi two people died.
Yeah.
Because we are around this particular place. I'm a video create by a near the to pick up. Even Mahama Abab Abenukwan, we've not been able to know or decide or research or investigate. Say we these two people they are Obi Papa, Obi brother, somebody's breadwinner, Obi Papa. Sata Kashina Oya Wakaswa Yakansema on Pesi Bekan. The same thing and then AC.
Hey, where the Sanya O Casa to me, so Masha Becca say you are siding with what the tax did.
The video is there.
So are you validating what happened over there?
The question is, you see, where if you feel ever.
Okay.
See, Hawa Koomson election year across in Japan alcohol, Baumia alcohol,
right?
Party chairman alcohol, MPP for Brian Champ for be alcohol, Obi alcohol ye ne kama no fee ho. What you say? Nipa now ye election a fee ye ground on no.
She has been here.
So the question is, how do Hawa Koomson kwa alcohol ye there? Allegedly, you know, the bodyguard called pepper spray will be. These are questions you're asking yourself. And you don't expect, say, you come and pepper spray me. Sani Obani pepper spray. There's a video. Unfortunately, you know, they produce a new one called the better screen. So I might.
But I'm sure that later we can put it.
And you'll be back. And you'll be mommy. And you'll be girlfriend. These are questions you're asking yourself. So you can't expect to pepper spray somebody and then the people will not respond in kind.
Do you know?
Let me tell you something. Our Koomson on the 10 bar. Yeah, the 10,000 member.
Hey.
You got to see. Maybe you don't know that is
because
the same 2016 election, election violence is
okay.
People died. 2020, the same thing happened. Okay.
Right.
All of these things, there were machine guns near there. The current MP for able to say you couldn't even lead up to this election. And last year elections so the same thing happened. So over a span of almost 8 years, we have recorded
violence.
See, it is simple. Or the 10 bar, the 10,000 mission. But until then, we are not saying that the violence muted out to her was justifiable.
Okay.
A idea we don't condone. But then the woman also should sit down, look into the mirror. And then have a retrospect.
Okay.
Nyankasa me baby ask na me dia na me here. See Hawa Koomson say dia kra na me pe. We lose seat, obi seat na we ni ko bre.
Na say any day is for the greater good because at the end of the day
I'm not once again
so what you are trying to say that to every action there's a reaction.
Exactly. What the 10 by massa because massa see one and they be our party member 2016 obi wuye. Okay. 2016 obi wuye no yanka one sem sa 2020 obi ewu.
Same thing happened.
2024 see we are in the same constituency with Kaswa. 2024 year elections here by Nkofo 2 ne wuye.
And
I bet Hawa Koomson nanu ya ono ankasa ne ba ni ye kom ko twetwe sekan wo
really
yes ne ba ma ba ko a NDC for enipa ko wo ne sekan I didn't call hospital and who say me bre it's say bia say boldin your name is synonymous to violence.
Okay.
So she herself to sit down and ask herself, "Eba ne say na baby Hawa Koomson dey na BBC bia no BBC." Can Japan went there? And Kroma one year both in Japan. The MPP for boycott elections. No, Ken was the first person to come out and say, "Don't boycott the election because you are giving the enemy a yardstick, and now you are giving your opponent a yardstick. So okay." And we are watching. And I can cite reference say we have the men, men when we don't fight. You don't stay behind. You go and fight.
Okay.
Even you see, there's something I always say. It's better to fight and lose than not to fight at all. Okay. Say any you school no hu baby and no ye fede bia cafeteria na obey abetina hodins gay
my crash your crash.
Exactly. But then you see one of the things that boys here penny say, approach the lady. Who approaching the crowd no can say, oh no, ubisa number no one farm ma when I don't have a phone, blah 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 blah. Near the adini na farm ma. We have some sort of assurance or some sort of I don't know if it is ego or some sort of satisfaction. Say, okay,
at least maybe sa.
Now the odds one dey be akuse shewutri.
I
say and now kokra we nya. You've tried.
Yeah.
I say, but you dey be out one dey be uhwe na okaminya gay ya me be bold and go to the girl.
Okay.
If it feels. You won't be the first person now. Exactly.
Okay.
I say so. What is happening is that MPP King Japan in same way you be to your car say young kono and then for you see the real young kind of the real leader in this particular party is King Japan.
Hey, really?
Oh, Ahima. The real leader in this particular party, MPP party T. Listen to the sequence.
Okay, let me listen and then let me ask a question because I'm sure
elections here by MPP for a press conference.
Okay.
Yeah, announced by election number 1. No, first of all, the letter by number 1. Number 2, they rushed to the courts.
Okay.
Number 3, they did a press conference. Number 4, they went to a media talk. All of these 4 aforementioned, the message was just one.
Okay.
We won't participate.
Okay.
Then just 48 or 72 hours to the election, King Japan comes out, grants an interview,
and then
does a press and say, hey, we don't need to say we will not go and do. Remember, I said this same Canadian Japan, and your chairman won to me.
Okay, yes.
Your chairman won to me, no, not party for you not dead out. When Ken went and he did a press statement, a bra on a media forecast, I said, no, MPP4, we can't leave chairman won to me here like this because a bra to force in your chain. No. Look at how NDC people
were united.
Exactly. You see, the real king here, King Japan.
Wow.
But you say Baumia is good, but Baumia is only good for a vice president. And Kebeya NDC for what they should do is so simple. Okay. Yema King Japan and lead the party.
Okay.
Now Kema Baumia finance minister.
Samum.
Because they be our economists.
Yeah,
now
he's an
the
economist.
CD and the dollar It's as simple as that.
But somebody too will say, in some way, air cost it is Baumia who has come out to call on the current government, say, on sorry, no training air cost na basa your air cost or Ablekuma no, on non so no. Aside that, no so, or the press release be aba, I know air say. Whatever that goes on, even years after years, whoever that was involved in that activity, where no violence wise, no nipa no, yebechino na police for nedi. So don't you think that Baumia has a stand or a say?
See, Baumia is one person. If we ask you, who will be our team tissue at from Freda.
Okay.
Baumia is the first person who does that. This is the same man before the 2016 elections. He was giving us lecture.
Okay.
At the physicians hall.
Yes.
Or the grave see, for reference, all of us did business administration.
Okay.
Or demand, supply, wine. Mahama Croye Communication, University of Ghana, Lagos. With Timmy Abe Society name.
But hey, you see,
that's the first angle.
Okay.
This same man, okay, a bra or president or vice president pay. Then the first 4 years, near the next bad. But then the last part of 4 years, then we dropped e-levy. Then the economy started going south.
Okay.
Then there were questions of what is Kenefurata doing.
Okay.
Remember I said Baumia is part of the what? Economic management team. EMT.
Yes.
He was sitting in the chair.
Because he's the vice president.
Exactly.
So mandated of him too.
Otina ho emaye pass e-levy. Ghana for kasa niema anye. And now I general catch saying I was opposing, but then they were not massa.
So patch
say
anything or can't say.
Maybe try know. Okay. And this same man too is telling us today, say they are among MDC for and this alert tax MPP for. These alert tax are
the point you are raising to is the point.
This alert tax or Makoye Sadi way, they will come and fish them out. Yeah, kasi ye fish be out. Let's start from a year. I was so west gone by elections. Time flies so quick.
Yes.
A bra boache jakun ewu ye.
Yes.
Boache jakun no chairman tie jakun ewu ye. no, yeah, the former sitting MP at that time for the sitting MP at that time for Hawa so West Sogon. They really Hassan. Oh, yeah, pet. Okay, I say me betray mu MP who pet near the years MP the same time I can see MP who ye pet the years ho. Ebra was so West Sogon. Chairman Teja who ya. You see a pair replace. Oh, any name sympathy votes. Quickly. Any then a year and you see her. Side time now, I didn't cost them.
Now, near in the saw boy Juma. She
did their part. But again, of course, why you were so West Sogon. Okay. And let's say a Cassia, you will be the current communication minister of Ghana. Wajia Sumbo, I was so West Sogon. Or Nupo buy and see one justice, but men, Nipo bonus, because these were marksmen. Okay. And before this, almost your money nice. And can we idea here and Kofu him entirely and almost a mask, almost a helmet, exactly. But then NDC for no buga. Once again, I'm not saying these are NDC people. They are alleged tax. Yes. So you see, if Baumia cast election violence, sa 2020 elections near NDC need be too. Have we spoke about it? Sa 2024 elections here now they had about a whole 1 month. Okay. 1 month to fish out the people. Omukum sanko fono a year a wutu senior east. Okay. A year Hawa Koomson brown also. I didn't know about Umia NDD a team. I'm a man quite sad. You see, let us be honest. What is good for the goose is good for the ganja. So, in all of these particular information, one of the things I can tell you is, Ekoso, Baby Baumia is crying foul. Remember, say he had opportunity to rewrite history. So exactly. Say Baumia 2028, Baumia should emerge as the flag bearer. Now, after elections, maybe the NDC candidate Elusu. Now the NDC candidate is refusing to give a friend is saying speech concession speech to give a concession speech. Ghanaians will refer that particular man to Baumia's instance. Okay. In 2024, say Baumia elections ni ko one chain crime ade anche no beka se melusu e masumdue baboko. But in this instance, we can't see the same thing for Baumia again. Why? Because what na ho ayenhwehan amankofo aye de sense But
do you know say
okay. Hawa Koomson it is not good. But nipa ebo ni to so no ko survive at hospital. Or share air condition room nipa ebo ni to ka so nipa ni ebo ni to and 90 year no pump don't you find pump action and 90 year or no onye nipa they be massa ye dey man na ye fa man we don't condone this, but then some things be wow. Unfortunately you can't do anything about it.
Right. So you mentioned the current communication minister Honorable Sam George. Now, ono enso a reference to 2019 what happened at Hawa so West Wogone bisa say ene ye bi tama news ne ba Hawa Koomson in semba no and ono so e ba ka say he is referencing that case because ono so are experiencing exactly what the violence during elections no when your first hand experience of it, but below ne Twitter where there was a post be a screenshot from Dr. Baumia camp. I just said form a committee to handle and get into the issue. No more investigating. Now those who say they were responsible no nanke enyo mundi. Then so committee no be omanye juma. Should we be blaming Dr. Baumia in this case?
You see, what position was Baumia in that time?
By then he was a vice president.
Exactly. He's the second gentleman of the land. So President Akufo-Addo, he's technically the president. He's the leader. Yeah. You see, one of the things, that is what Nyaho Tamaklo said about Baumia. Baumia, I don't have any issue with him. But then when I look at the MPP part, the question I ask myself is, we need a leader who can take decision on his own and account for his action. Okay. Baumia is not that kind of person. Remember example. Everything bad that happened in Baumia saying the fault, Akufo-Addo fault.
Of course, because
but then all the good things that happen, Ghana card, eSIM registration, interoperability,
so say also
anything good, Baumia. Now no listing achievement passport wine chip Then he asked Baumia, say, what about E-Levy? And I was not there. Then he asked Baumia the same question. Okay, what about time and economy no Elco South? We wanted Ken of Friata to be out. I was not there. I was talking about it. They were not minding me. This guy, everything good is him. Everything bad is Akufo-Addo. We need a person. Yeah, we need a person who can take account, who can hold or basically take account for his or her own actions. Baumia is not that kind of person. Now, remember I said, Dr. Nyawo Tamakulu, or you're one of the founding fathers of the New Patriotic Party. Also, one son about Baumia, the neighbor.
Okay.
I say about big women. Ya titi no kra amaya beye no. You be fitting in to be the running mate of a year Akufo-Addo. Or see one more no di kaima nkofo ba or di kaima Baumia. A group of people say young coaching. Okay. He was new to this whole political system. Okay. You remember he used to work at the Bank of Ghana with a former governor, Dr. Dufonia. He was just a small boy. But then Oyobi hard working. But then in Kofoa, Dr. Nyawo Tamakulu Edima Baumia said, no. They came out with a finding said, this guy is intelligent.
Yes.
Very much. School, will be any ekoye bibia ene papa oridi pe na wa ye fe ni chiwempo.
Okay.
Yen kan kre wo mo ye chiwempo nyina na hin fa no mo wo. Ati ase wan hwe ni ye krobi di ne di aye den aye housewife. So you see chiwempo dey o se ba omia ye obi a o ye chiwempo. So be reading na wo dey ato for my be e ban practicing it onye that kind of person. Anyways, this same person too e ba omia no. Yeah. About Baumia, Dr. Nyawo Tamakulu Eka said one of the other findings they found about Baumia was that he is very incoherent about his decision making. Okay. What you say, for example, Kacha Baumia said, Bisa Baumia, what will you eat today? I don't know even what I don't know what to eat today. If I get, I'll eat banku. Maybe also him also maybe Barian PC. I think I'll also take Barian PC. Correct. Okay. He's not correct because he's not able to take decisions on his own. Okay. What I say, people are always controlling him. Okay. Now, in this same instance, if we are no sono, they drink a bar. I can't take drink right now because my stomach. No problem. And one out they drink a bar, they drink a brew. They drink brew and upia bako eto about me. I didn't want that to taste me to that. But now I can take it. This is a man who is very incoherent with his decision. See, I'm not beefing the man or saying any bad thing. Dr. Nyawo Tamakulu in his own words. Okay. In fact, my main corner man for who say, in some way, can you see be a propaganda? All right. Yeah, share Dr. Nyawo Tamakulu to me, Nyawo Tamakulu Baumia. Not when in some okay, because propaganda, NDC station, they be NDC station, and someone one can the Godfather. The Godfather Ekaye. Nyawo Tamakulu to bo Nyawo Tamakulu Baumia. Okay. I won't say we are working with time, but I just want to read something little. Beginning of a intimate be very honest. Okay. But you read what you see. Okay. My boy Nyawo Tamakulu on Google. It's okay. Read the Oba news bits now. Read it. Brafom kakra. Okay. So you see at least about 3 news near there. What do you see? Okay.
With 3 news. I say Baumia is not a courageous leader to rise above manipulation. He can't lead the NPP. Second one also finished. Baumia, second one no TV3 Ghana. I say Baumia is not a courageous leader to rise up. The same heading. He can't lead NPP. Now there's another one from Graphic Online which says Nyawo Tamakulu questions Baumia's decision-making abilities. And then with Ghana Web also says, I feel sad for Baumia. He won't be allowed to be himself. That is Dr. Nyawo Tamakulu in Sema Ononso Edebaye Enono. Aha. And then City News also says Napo was imposed on Baumia as his running mate. That is a how kind of want me make a decision into ye or no want me and choose soon a running mate into ye de when a share no con Napo share no con so My Joy Online to says Baumia wasn't allowed to make his own choice. Oboko Prempe was forced on him. That is the same Napoya Kanuasim. And then Ghana Web says Nyawo Tamakulu denies accusing Baumia of weed candy use. That's probably another story. Okay. So there's a lot.
There's a lot. There are thousands of this. So you see, and now Baumia about decision making. Okay, hey, this is just a tip of the iceberg. I know that this about election. But Baumia some more can say, your friend is saying, is calling on the president to do the right thing. No, master, I'm trying to show you more. You see. This internet making it so much easy for any person to do the Baumia decision making. Okay. BBC Mahamadou Baumia from political outsider to Ghana's Mr. Digita almost what I say we are man online we had no decision making powers as EMT that's economic management team. What I say Oba has say you know see a lies and I said Baumia more results ever has it. So if Baumia cast okay me percent but Mahama should to do the right thing. Mahama should masa on the same Baumia is not telling us say he had no hand in the your friend is saying the most expensive pit in Africa.
Okay.
Also, only will be Muslim. Now, Muslim, them the national country. Okay.
Anyway, someone will say, maybe I do not quite to say, divert a bit from the topic under discussion. Oh, that be. Let's go back to the Ablekuma election chaos. No updates. No. Hannah Bisiu. No so ayo ba. Yenina yenim se. Or born modern power with in terms of see a new role I the amano our share say gold ne mining homes and same galam saying okita team be our share say anti mining whatever that is going on or better na illegal mining and koso now ono so obete their echo so ewo Ablekuma election no na ohun ye me sure say o share videos ni bi na ye bisa ne say Hawa Koomson na who say yabono no. What does she have to say as a woman? Na Hannah Bisiu response or the buyer no. Me who dream make a cry is and say I was thinking say onon so your bar no. At least she should have been able to side she should have been a bit sympathetic what you say. Na anka on can be a trace or a dream ni nua ba ho. But what she said was say yenko ni yenko bisa Chese Hawa Koomson because from the look of things no as my panelist and she's synonymous to violence. Her name has been synonymous to electoral violence. Now she made references to a lot of things that happened in Kaswa and then that constituency. She said she has received slaps. Physical slaps and there were other people who wanted to help her in that situation okomu obi enene yere omonso so mu GB teens ni bi ya boama na why na all pointing fingers at right now Hannah Bisiu is making or pointing fingers at Hawa Koomson say ono na ne otetwe for that ne assault no in those years na etwemo ekono and ama just Ghana hanyina baby aye menya ene nkofo bi bisa say na uyo oba no nso akoye oba no anka why don't you put your differences aside and be able to handle this probably in a professional way ana obeka ne say ne be ya dachi bi no ma ye entreaty emma in this particular situation but that is not what we saw. I don't know if the video is available, but if it is, we will play it very soon for you to see what went on with regards to Hannah Bisiu. Hawa Koomson video ya tregu aye bono aye tietia ne yam ne ade na no chese nsem no aye bebre anunti yenso ye bedi etwe na ha ye Pinax TV bo modern like bo modern na share bo modern so na ye hu what you probably think about this ma ye kasa nyina no we should know say the counting will start very soon whatever voting akoso no sesia no enche ye be fi asese ye kan na ye hu where we stand as a country now whether we will get to know say Ablekuma electoral area no ebeko
in favor of the NPP and I say beko in favor of the NDC. Ni nyina de we are not aware, but yeah the eni so beto form na whatever that comes out we'll share with you. So let us know your opinion concerning what is happening currently in the electoral area of Ablekuma. Na yenso yenhwe se senya Ghana for kano almost tit for tat we dia no odin no ohye. We're not expecting it. Now, so I NDC for any brepa and almost 7 hot. I am my MPP for is answer right from omo so far yachichi omo nyina omo yakọ mufie akọ the tax akọ mufie akọ sese omufie nyina no utimi hu say there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of akọ edi say ejabi and NDC for edenam na hana bisiu. And so as for her, she's not sympathetic at all. Or no, the AC no, Hano, cause she knows who Hawa Koomson is, and she deserves exactly what has come to her. Let us know.
Usha Ghana web comments, they posted this a while ago. The title is Ablekuma North Rowan, former MP Hawa Koomson assaulted. Now, she comments are Eba.
Okay.
We first comment say Hawa Koomson deserve more than what she had. Next time she should go spray pepper on someone. Nonsense. She's lucky to survive this one. Ajima say, hey, be careful when dealing with Hawa. She has a gun and she's not afraid to use it. Yes, so we have something. You have no idea. Islam is a far-fetched religion. Say no. That one I can read it. Why is NDC? Okay, so it goes on and on and on. And obviously today was a good day. Benji, His Excellency the ugly dogs, excellent job. Let's congratulate the one who assaulted her. Benji, the macho man should press charges. Hawa Koomson is known for shooting polling stations. You see, it depends here. You see, you can't, massa, you can't you. What you say, you can't ye. Okay, see, Nipa no your polling agents no or your Miguel. And your pepper spraying.
I won't sit down.
Hey, madam.
I definitely will not sit down.
So the comment they did was 80% in Yinano. Then we come here. We feel or say, but some judge can be treated that way during Ayawa's West Wogon. You see? What I say? It will show where or say that moment is over. Everything under the sun has an end. It ain't over yet. So it goes on and on. Way bitter say Hawa Rambo Koomson, no tears for the oppressor. Of our very arrogant and evil woman. Or say if this how NDC wants to govern this country, we need to that one they can't read it. And announced she felt threatened by macho men. Pepper sprays a woman's last resort beside using a gun. Those tasks were intimidating her to leave. Today vote in the polling station. Weren't NDC big wigs also there to support? What I say, video now was share, the people who went into that particular polling station, remember say they were not inside the premises.
Okay.
Omunya hin said, Madam, no, oye bibi woho.
Okay.
That was why they broke bounds. Remember say.
And there were a lot of policemen.
Of course, see, it's policemen or more on a spray. Sa polling agent omo ntima anyehwe. You see, yes one ye di agro bi faketwa ebeje kese. Paketwa beje kese. That is it. You know, Hawa Koomson also who said power has changed. And the way NDC is rolling to victory in 2028, you know, NPP need to sit back and also have a retrospect. Yankasa as a party, you know, what do we even stand for? Nam embonti we so bisa any young person say party ben na ope obo MPP di wan hwebe bo asu masa enne NDC for buy obunya ahwe kra no yentiti hwe kra so yentiti oil so
exactly
you see
and a dollar so
just do what the people want. The dollar no cry about from is disturbing a lot of us because of how your income near the but still now me who say okay even if it will come at the expense of me mega some profit and never trimming most of our profits. Na ye mami owo ye chrome and as obi betimi ye bibie dia better.
Okay.
Like see, and I so faka people I won't say things are really better, but as en crofo akuma to mu a little bit.
Exactly.
Last year utina came one I just say obi aye din obi can stop from cry na ko farm man cry na same bebre. Ni exactly. Ni so bi kon itimi di attempts fika soa eko Madina.
Okay.
It's a nipa nebu efuama.
Pressure.
What just be bianko ye.
Fresh
but now
and
people are a bit relaxed.
Yes.
But yes, so you titi oil so you titi emo so. Now
Transport
you
in
you see tertiary student first year. You see the is it no fees, no stress policy.
Okay.
First year fees.
Okay.
Says can we beat him their toy iPhone?
Of course.
We beat him their money girl.
Although the girl now savings.
So be an pay. So you see, Mama is doing his best. Mama, yes, a government and a governance ABBS.
Okay.
He's just doing what the people want. That is all.
So are you saying he's a listening government?
Yes, of course, no opposition 8 years. So if you don't listen, then yes, one person na oye opposition 8 years. And many people come up on Muhammad soon. And then on one year so Mahama Baumia or King Japan, they can be any of those. But then trust me, sit back down and ask yourself, exactly. That is what Trump is doing. Trump, the policies in America. You vote him the first major thing people voted for him was an immigration.
Okay.
Because
too much.
2 was on what? Economy. And 3, it was about a year stopping the wars near the other. Now you are Israel. And Iran for to home. Trump stating that Trump said this thing cannot go on.
At all.
Sending B2 bomber. Iran for how much Adibet so Trump because why Israel was fighting Iran was because they were saying Iran is developing a nuclear power and I say a nuclear weapon which is threatening the peace and stability in the Middle East.
Right.
Until we destroy Saudi air course Iran to Israel to attack Iran now. Case closed. The same person too is working to resolve the Ukraine and also Russia conflict. What you say? Now you are Israel for Pakistan for any India for a year tournament. It was Trump who took the phone to call Pakistan PM.
Okay.
And also call a year. Your friend is saying India's PM say, hey, 2 people stop fighting. To call BBC or say the truce. Okay, the truce that a year Pakistan and India had no. Okay. It is both leaders thanked. Your friend is saying Trump. Until both Pakistan, India, Trump. And I'll both choose because me kasa. You see, I make sure say
right.
Exactly what I say. Oshaha or say Trump's deal maker with DW. Okay. Trump's deal maker claims cause tension between US. I say Trump hosts Pakistan army chief disagrees India over Pakistan mediation. Okay. Any other day, Trump and India split over US to Pakistan ceasefire. So to the extent say, Pakistan they've nominated Trump for the your friend is saying Nobel Prize
Award.
Yes.
Okay.
What you see? So you see, that is exactly what is going on. Trump, they voted on him to do that thing.
And I think in Africa, we've had a fair share of peace treaty now, or Kano. Because DR Congo and then Rwanda, they've been having a long standing over 2 decades.
Yes, and I don't know if you know. So this this week, Trump hosted 5 African countries.
Okay.
What I say? What's the news? No, cast Liberia president brought for year the Panoko Square. Have you heard it?
No, I haven't come across that yet.
Just watch that video.
Okay.
So what I say? It's no. It's almost say no. Or ye we are or campaigner. Only the other 2 promises made, promises kept. Simple.
Okay.
Do what the people want. Kofono vote tomorrow say be too form.
Okay.
Kofono vote tomorrow say be shame Kofono come and do it. Simple and be free.
Okay.
So I think for
Baby, I had the common do the NHS and Chebian your provisional results of what has come out of Ablekuma, the rerun elections. No, na eno enshada enye adia yetumi esipi akase. This is the actual results, but as I mentioned earlier, no, provisional results. Now, from the look of things, no, it looks like NDC is in the lead with 50.21%, and then NPP has 49.79%, and then we are waiting to see what will actually come out finally. I know by a declaration from the EC, but this is what we have based on what is trending currently as provisional results for what is happening at Ablekuma North, which is the rerun of the elections. No, now we have heard that a lot of things are happening. Indeed, Nyamanso sheda kosopa wohonoma Ghana hanyina no ngofo kan ho asem right from Hawa Koomson no na sisi ano oye gangalia ni dino trendy achese baby obefa bia on X, on Facebook, on Twitter, achese baby she is trending and yeah they sound common on so edbe brownie finally no then a copy mo and now say is there going to be another rerun? It's an violence akoso was some of their constituencies and other polling stations. No, can we say and I say would it also come out later on? Say I bet to me akwakoba ne say honum so yenya the results and yenya pink sheets no, and so the EC would have to go on another rerun and a question a lot of people are asking and maybe you do it there. I have Pinax TV. Yeah, must say money atna say now share whatever that is going on with this particular story. We'll come back to you another time. Yeah, must say.